Hey guys, JB here from Alpha Wolf Consulting. All right, coming to you today with my course on self-validation. So this is a brief introduction to the course and sort of a little bit about, why is self-belief important, but sort of where does self-belief sit in the hierarchy of sort of how I layer or build my ideal self. So it's important to understand that, for self belief, you know, especially, when we're looking at the journey of personal development, we're told, self belief is one of the most important things, the fundamental framework, and it is, but there are some important differences. So, what I want to first clarify is in building the ideal self, okay, we have four main components. So first it is I have to build my self-validation. So I have to be able to validate myself internally. And then from that, I have to build my self-belief. So taking those validations and then believing in them and doing everything internally. And as a result of those two aspects, I start to build self-confidence. So that's the third layer, self-confidence. And then from self-confidence, I build self-worth. So the end goal is we want to be this all-round person, that validates the thoughts and beliefs that I have inside, that believes in my potential and ability to achieve those beliefs, has the confidence to go out there and do it, and also has the self-worth to understand your value. So in understanding this, okay, check out the self-validation course to get a really good fundamental understanding of self-validation, but also now we're looking at self-belief. Now, the important thing to understand about, self-belief is that without self-validation, it doesn't work. So I can't build self-belief within myself on someone else's thought. Okay. So I can't look at other people and want to emulate what they do and sort of get validation from them. So, sort of, when we don't have self validation, what'll typically happen is we look to our external environment to basically send us back signals of validation, of acceptance, of agreement, and all these different areas. But the important thing to understand is that your thoughts, your beliefs, and your emotions are all within your mind, and it's not actually influenced by the external environment. Now, for me personally, I struggled a lot with this, with always seeking to validate myself externally. And a very big thing with that is I could never build self-belief because I was never like it was never about me. I was trying to replicate or copy other people. And, I could try to build self-belief, but in fact, I actually needed validation from the person I was trying to emulate to know. So that's one of the important things that I personally had to learn was how to validate my thoughts, emotions, and feelings, and beliefs within myself. Now, the second layer after we were able to do that is now we're getting into self-belief. So, you know, self-belief, is basically in essence just having that internal narrative, that internal conversation. So when you get negative thoughts or when you get self-doubt, self-belief is just reinforcing that positive narrative or the positive emotion or the positive belief. Okay, I can do this, I will do this, I am doing this. Okay. And this is an important thing because this is where the fundamental framework of self-belief starts. Is self-belief isn't about creating this, you know, belief that you are above other people and that you are the messiah. No, self-belief is just having enough internal fortitude to say, this is what means something in my life, or this is what gives me enjoyment. And it doesn't matter if other people see it, I see it. If I want to achieve, you know, let's say I wanted to achieve, a successful business. Okay. I'm not going to get there by validating my decisions based on other people. I'll create their version of a successful business, but I'll never create my version. So, an important thing to understand is that, like, self belief in terms of, when we're trying to build self belief, it's all the internal narrative, the internal mind games. A lot of the fears that we have in terms of, self doubt, failure, different things like this are based out of illogical fact. So things like, for example, you know, if we're trying to, let's say, launch a new business, or we're launching a new career and we're not quite as good as we want to be, self-doubt is that people are going to judge us, that people are going to think that we're not good enough, and all these different things, but they're illogical, because if that person believes in us, if that person values us, it doesn't really change who we are. It only changes who we are if we're looking at the external environment for our feedback. So that's an important thing, is that we should always be looking internally for our feedback. So if I'm taking this action, do I feel, confident within myself that this is the right action for me? Do I believe that, I am someone who can achieve this? Do I believe that, the thoughts I have are real and accurate? Different things like this, because we're all able to visualize our ideal outcome. And the only thing that ever stops us from achieving that ideal outcome is self doubt, is the negative narratives. Like, you've got to understand, especially in business, there is no such thing as failure. There is no such thing as bankrupt. There is no such thing. There is a such thing as over leveraged. There is a such thing as only being in it for money. If money is your main motivator, your business is very weak, because if anything happens to that money, or you cease to be profitable, that business has failed. Whereas if that business's purpose was to fulfill a mission, or to challenge the status quo, or to create something that you wanted to create in life, well, money doesn't matter in the context of, if it takes 10 years to turn a profit, like, you can still progress if you don't over leverage yourself. Now, if you go out in the first 6 months and invest $100,000, or burn $100,000 into getting, leads, this and that, like, that's the thing. The more financial leverage that we have invested into the project or the business, it's the more, you know, risk that we're taking on, financial risk. So if you're okay with losing everything, your dream will never die. If for you losing 20% in the first year is failure, you will fail if that hits. So whatever level you put as your, let's take a look at trading. Okay. And we'll use some trading analogies. So we've got our take profit, and then we got our stop loss. Okay. These are our upper and lower limits. When we reach the upper limit, we automatically sell out. When we reach the lower limit, we sell out. If we don't have those limits, we don't have anything, that is like any metrics to say, what is considered a failure of a trade, what is considered a success of a trade. Now, it doesn't mean that, just because the trade hits the stop loss, that it was a failure, because a second later it might have hit the take profit. So that's the key, is we got to understand three main things. We got to understand what we're looking to get. Okay, what is our goal achievement? What are we looking to achieve? Then we have to look at, well, what is the highest risk that we can take? What's our breaking point? Now, as low as we can make that, okay, means we are more flexible. So the lower your breaking point, in terms of, the more that has to go against you. So for example, You can lose 20% in your first year, and that could be your breaking point of you cannot, conceive doing something if it's not profitable immediately. Okay, that puts a lot of constraints on you. Whereas if we put our limit at, you know, if I'm alive, I'm still in it. I have to physically be dead, mentally, mentally affected in terms of like, if we get a brain injury and we cannot do any cognitive thought, well, fair call, we're probably going to fail. But apart from that, you know, we're not going to see. So basically, if our loss is that I have to be dead or I have to be disabled, like completely 100% disabled. So you could take my leg, I can still operate. You can take my mind, then I can't operate. So the more extreme we make that lower limit, and the more reasonable we make that upper limit, the higher the likelihood that we reach that upper limit. So it's not that with the upper limit that we put it at $10 million in the first year. No, let's try and get 5 grand a month. Then let's try and get 10 grand a month. Now let's try and get 50 grand a month. Now let's try and get 100 grand a month. Okay, so what we're doing is we're constantly, every time we achieve that milestone, we set a little bit further. Rather than setting it up, we want to do $1 million in the first year. Okay, we break it into, well, if we can achieve 5,000 in the first month, 10,000 in the second month, 20,000, and we just keep incrementing it up until we get to 100,000 a month. Okay, what we're going to do is we're probably going to get to about $300,000-$400,000 a year. Okay, but that's the key thing, is that we don't want to set our finish line too far away, because then what's going to happen is when we're trying to achieve it, okay, we're going to hit fatigue. We're going to hit, we're making it too difficult to achieve the goal. So we want to be getting those little hits as we progress forward, because that's how we're going to build, one, our self-belief, two, our self-confidence. Now, the third variable in that metric is time. So we've got our upper limit, our lower limit, and our time constraint. So if we put, this has to reach, say, $50,000 a month in 6 months, okay? If we do not reach that, we fail that. So by setting those time frames, we are shifting like our need for action. So in terms of, if we put the time frame at 2 to 5 years, we can keep progressing forward. If we put the time frame at 6 months, we have to reach that goal by that date. Okay, so these are things to understand, because if we don't reach those goals by that date, and we are validating ourselves externally, an important thing to understand is what's going to happen is, we're not going to feel great about ourselves. We're not going to feel achievement. So what we want to do is we want to lower the limit to how we feel achievement. So we want to be feeling achievement for the smallest acts, and we just want to constantly be feeling that achievement, and that'll fuel us to progress forward. Just to the same, we don't want to associate losses. So we want to make our stop loss or our lower limit as difficult to hit as possible. So that means if we're progressing forward and achieving these achievements, and yet we're taking a couple of steps back in the process or throughout the process, that's okay. That's part of the process. So that's one of the key things, is we want to build that momentum up. Now, the important thing is, okay, especially in business, especially in life, okay, we have to be able to, build our self-belief up internally, okay, and promote those positive narratives over those negative self-doubt narratives, because they will take over if we let them. Okay. All right. Well, this has been great, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much. Bye.